I never thought a peaceful night by the lake would end with blue and red lights slicing through the Texas dark, but let me tell you, that's exactly how this mess began. $149,000 gone just like that. Not from some big city scam, not from a fancy Wall Street scheme. No, this was ripped straight from the so-called heart of the community. The HOA president, clipboard queen herself, stole it right out from under everyone's noses right off land my family's owned since Reagan was president. And the kicker, she called the cops on me for camping on my own property. Imagine that, trying to lock up the guy who actually holds the deed and in the process handing the cops everything they need to put her behind bars. You can't make this stuff up. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Picture this: me, my 12-year-old daughter Emma, and our border collie Harper just trying to roast some marshmallows, listen to the water lap the shore, maybe chase a few fireflies. Then out of nowhere, boots on gravel, a patrol car engine humming, and a deputy's voice slicing the night. "Sir, step away from the fire and place your hands where I can see them." The stick I was using to roast marshmallows was still in my hand. Emma sat frozen s'more halfway to her mouth, her big eyes wide, asking, "Dad, are we really in trouble?" That question stung more than any accusation. Here's my own daughter, scared she's about to see her dad get arrested for enjoying land that's been in our family for generations. Try explaining that to a kid. I kept it together, voice steady. "Officer, this is my family's ranch. We're just camping. 30 years swinging hammers for a living, you learn not to let your voice shake even when your heart's doing backflips." Harper edged closer to Emma, low growl in his throat like he could sense the trouble before any of us could. And out from the trees, here she comes, Linda Patterson. You know the type, hair just so, not a wrinkle on her outfit, and a clipboard hugged tight like it's bulletproof. Never met her before, but you could smell the entitlement a mile away. She went straight for the drama, flashed her papers, started talking about trespassers and community property like she was some TV lawyer. She had photos, meeting minutes, everything organized in that clipboard. But you could tell the stack was designed to scare people off, not to actually explain anything. "This lake area is Pine Ridge community property," she declared, just waiting for the deputy to haul me away. Emma, bless her Gen Z heart, had her phone out already, recording it all. You can't bully a 12-year-old with a smartphone. I pulled out the only thing that mattered, a manila folder Uncle Frank gave me, waterproofed and everything. His will, the deed, tax records, official, signed, sealed, and bulletproof. Deputy Johnson looked it over, called it in, and there it was. Property confirmed. 15 acres, all mine by inheritance, no easements, no agreements, nothing for the HOA to hang their hat on. Linda's confidence cracked like old paint. First confusion, then panic. She muttered about Frank giving her permission about community lake access, but there was no legal backup. Her voice lost that edge real fast. "Ma'am," the deputy finally said, "if Mr. Miller owns this property and you don't have written authorization for these improvements..." He trailed off, but you didn't have to be a lawyer to see where it was going. I looked over at all the stuff they'd built, dock, pavilion, even trails and grills, none of which I'd ever approved. I said it quiet, but it carried, that would be called trespassing. Even Emma at 12 understood something big just shifted. Linda looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. Now you want the twist. Linda called the police to report trespassers, but she called them on herself. I mean, I almost felt sorry for her, almost. She stood there holding a stack of fake authority, while the deputy told her in plain English that she'd been squatting on someone else's land for 5 years, building charging fees, running programs, all illegal. It's like going to a steakhouse and demanding the chef's hat, then acting shocked when security shows you the door. Back up 24 hours, and I thought this trip would be about reliving childhood memories. Emma bouncing in the truck, Harper hanging his head out the window, me wondering if Frank had left any fish in the lake. But as soon as we got there, I saw the changes: expensive dock, picnic pavilion, walking trails, parking lot. Somebody dropped $30,000, turning our quiet little getaway into a community park. Harper kept stopping, sniffing like he could smell 100 strangers had been there before us. And then Mrs. Rodriguez from next door popped out of the woods, all smiles. "Linda and the HOA have done wonderful work with the lake," she said. My stomach sank. She talked about community cleanups, events for kids, all organized by Linda. I found Frank's old note later. "Linda, feel free to fish with your family on weekends. Keep it simple." Just a neighborly gesture. And Linda had twisted that into an entire business. 50 families, $15 a month. Do the math. $9,000 a year, all for access to property that wasn't hers to give. Over 5 years. That's $45,000 right there. Never mind the extra cash from parties and summer camps. All told, $149,000 in revenue, almost $80,000 in her pocket after expenses. It got worse. Harper found the real smoking gun: buried pipes siphoning water from our lake to the HOA's development. No water bill for them since 2019. Hundreds of thousands of gallons, 10 grand in stolen water. Professional pumps disguised as a storage shed. The deeper I dug, the uglier it got. Linda didn't just build on our land, she ran a full-on business selling water on the side too. When I sent a certified letter, polite but firm, offering to negotiate, they freaked out. Emergency meetings, people yelling, some blaming Linda, some blaming me. Linda pushed through an $800 per house legal fee to defend community rights, and that's when the neighborhood cracked. Parents were furious, paying more to fight the guy who actually owns the lake. Some wanted to talk like adults. Some just wanted me gone. Kids cried, thinking I was taking away their lake. Emma tugged my sleeve, asking if we were the bad guys. Linda, though she doubled down, called the cops again, spun tales about threatening behavior, even accused me of sabotaging the water system when all I'd done was report unauthorized construction to the county. Deputy Johnson's patience wore thin. "Ma'am, these calls are meant for criminal matters, not property disagreements between neighbors." When the building inspector showed up and saw those pipes, he nearly fell over. Code violations, utility theft fines stacking up to $40,000. He told me someone invested serious money in stealing your water. Then came the whistleblower, Janet, the HOA secretary. She met me nervous but determined, handed over emails, financial records, photos, proof Linda had been lying about permissions, paying herself illegal fees, forging permits, destroying evidence. The final straw. A text message. "Your dog better stay off our property. Accidents happen to animals." That was it. Threatening Harper, that's crossing a line you can't uncross. I sent Emma to stay with Mrs. Rodriguez, kept Harper with me, set up trail cameras, watched Linda and Bob, the treasurer, late at night, smashing hard drives, burning documents, trying to cover their tracks. I caught them in the act. "Ma'am, you're destroying property on my land," I told her. She sneered. "Proving what? You can't prove anything anymore." Bob, bless him, was the only sane voice. "Linda, this is crazy. Let's just settle." But Linda was too far gone. Deputy Johnson showed up again, this time not for me, for Linda. He photographed the evidence, documented the damage. Neighbors gathered, snapping pictures, listening to Bob admit it all. The pools dried up, landscaping went brown overnight, and suddenly everyone saw how much they'd depended on stolen resources. The community turned public meeting, yelling votes to fire Linda, dissolve the HOA, settle with me. Linda melted down in front of everyone. "I built this community," she screamed. "You built it on lies," someone shouted back. The DA charged her with everything. Obstruction, false police reports, grand larceny, insurance fraud, contractor fraud, the works. She got 18 months in prison, served 8 5-year probation, $89,000 restitution, and most poetic of all, court-ordered community service, picking up trash in county parks. No more HOA gigs ever. They even made her pay back every dime she'd taken, plus damages, plus the cost to rip out all the illegal structures. Lost her house too. Watching that for sale sign go up was as close to justice as you get outside of a movie. The rest, we reclaimed the lake, turned it into what Uncle Frank wanted: family land used for good. Opened a tiny education center, taught kids about boundaries, water rights, what it means to respect property. A few neighbors asked politely for fishing rights, and we worked out real agreements with real insurance, real respect. You know what sticks with me, though? Harper always knew where the line was. Dogs don't lie about territory. Sometimes I think adults should listen to that kind of honesty a little more. In the end, you can fake a lot of things: a smile, some paperwork, even a little authority, but you can't fake ownership, and you sure as hell can't fake karma. So tell me, if you came home to find a summer camp running in your backyard, would you keep your cool, like I tried to, or would you lose it? Drop your story below, because after everything I've seen, these stories only matter when folks like us actually talk about what's right, what's fair, and when enough is enough.